You would think on Twitch that revenue works like this, right? Where the more viewers you have, the more money you make in a pretty linear fashion. But the way that it works is more like you make nothing with 0, you make nothing with 10, you make a little bit with 100, and then hi, I'm Sunshine Bread. I average like 300 viewers on Twitch, and I've been a Twitch streamer for about 6 years as my main source of income. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly how much Twitch streamers make from both streaming on Twitch, but also sponsorships and other things that you might not even think about as a viewer. The one that you're probably most familiar with already as a viewer and as a streamer is subscriptions. There's multiple tiers of subscriptions that viewers can do, and also Prime subs. The tiers are 1, 2, and 3. These all have different price points, with tier 1 costing the least. In the US, it's $6, but different places have regional prices, and I'll get into that in a minute. Tier 1s in the US are $6. Tier 2s, I think, are $10, and tier 3s are $25. If somebody tier 1 subs to you, and you're just like a normal Twitch guy, then you get $3 of that $6. If they tier 2, you get $8 or maybe $7.50, and if they tier 3, you get around $18. There's also Prime subscriptions, which basically work as tier 1s. If somebody has an Amazon Prime account, they can link it to their Twitch and use that as a normal tier 1 sub for free, basically. It's just Bezos bucks. If you have a Prime sub, you should definitely use it, because you're taking money away from Amazon and you're giving money to somebody and letting them stream. There's literally no difference between a Prime and a tier 1. Both give the content creator $3, or I don't know, if you're Prime subbing from Brazil, $1.5. If you want to know regional prices, I'll splash it on screen right now. Regional prices are a pretty new thing. I think they were added within the past 2 years. Some people don't like them, but I think they make subbing a lot more accessible, and it just kind of makes sense. If you are based in the US and somebody pays $3 for a subscription rather than $6 for a subscription, you're still only going to get half of that. You do make more money if you have viewers who are from like Europe or the United States or Australia, anywhere with like a stronger currency or just like a more, like developed economy. It pays a lot more to have viewers from those regions. I actually have known some streamers who get turkey bombed by people who will buy turkey subs, which they'll pretend that they're from Turkey. It costs like $1 per sub there. And then people will gift hundreds or thousands of subs to those streamers. And because they're turkey subs, the streamers are only getting paid like 50 cents per sub. And you're like, well, Sunshine Bread, that's still $500 if they're gifting 1,000 subs. That's great money. But subscribers don't get ads. So if you subscribe to a stream, then you're not going to watch any ads on their channel unless they enable them, which is kind of like a dickhead thing to do. But technically it is possible to enable ads for subs. And if you're a bigger streamer who makes a lot of money from ad revenue, which, spoiler alert, ad revenue is a huge, huge deal, then this sucks for you pretty bad. If you're from Turkey, don't feel bad about subbing to somebody, and don't feel bad if somebody subs to you from Turkey. You're still making money. It's still a pretty good deal. Now, Twitch has this pretty new program. I think this is also only a year or two old, called Twitch Partner Plus. If you're a Twitch partner and 100 people subscribe to you out of their own pocket, this means no Prime subs, no gifted subs. You get a more favorable revenue split. Right now, again, someone subs to you, costs $6, you get $3 of that $6. But if you have Partner Plus, then instead of having a 50-50 split, you have a 60-40 split in favor of you, which means you get to keep more of that sub revenue. And if you have 300 people who are subbing out of their own pocket, then you get a 70-30 split, which means you are keeping 70% of the money from that tier 1 sub. And this applies to all subs as well. You're only eligible for it if you have 300 real subs, but once you get this 70-30 contract, this applies to all subs, which means if you have 1,000 subs and 700 of them are gifted, but 300 of them are people subbing out of their own pocket, you get 70% of the revenue from all 1,000 of those subs. Some streamers who have been around for a very long time have it hard baked into their contract, but anybody can get this as long as they have the check mark next to them, which kind of sucks if you're a smaller streamer, because you would think that these are the people that it would matter to the most, like the smaller guys who are like on the edge of making it a full-time job, but it's still a pretty sweet deal if you can get it. I currently have the normal Twitch Partner Plus, so the 60-40 split, which has like helped me a lot. Actually, it's pretty impactful. People can also gift subs to you if you're a streamer, and what this basically means is they are gifting subscriptions to other people that watch your stream. So if you don't have the money to subscribe, it's possible that, you know, some guy in tech who watches your favorite streamer all day is feeling generous and he gifts maybe 20 subs, which costs whatever 20 times 6 is, like $120. And then 20 people who are randomly chosen from the chat, unless he picks them himself, will be gifted subscriptions. And these subs work literally the exact same as if you paid for it yourself. So you get emotes, you get to watch without ads, you get all of the benefits, which is pretty cool. A lot of my revenue for a super long time actually came from gifted subs. And it's interesting because usually the smaller a streamer is, the more generous their community will be because, you know, they want them to stick around. And you can make like some pretty serious money from gifted subs. The second way people make money on Twitch is through donations or tips, whichever you prefer. Some people don't like the word donation. I don't really care. It's basically exactly what you think. People give you money just for fun. Usually there aren't really any benefits of this the same way there are for subs. You can do stuff as a streamer to incentivize people to just give you money. For example, I have song requests on my stream where if you donate like $3 or something, you can play a song. And also Twitch does have its own built-in donation system where you can buy this currency called bits directly from the platform to, you know, give money to the streamer directly. But Twitch takes a pretty big cut from this. I think if you spend $1.40 on bits, you get 100 bits, which you then give to the streamer, and it's $1. So 1 bit is 1 cent towards the streamer. This is kind of nice because there's protection against chargebacks with bits in a way that there isn't really protection if you do donations through PayPal or something. And also, if you give bits on Twitch, you can get a special badge next to your name, and you can also give people who give a lot of bits special emotes as like another incentive. Overall, there's not really a big difference between donations and bits. Some streamers prefer to just be tipped like cold hard cash, and that makes sense to me, but they're pretty comparable. In my experience, this makes up like a pretty small amount of your income, but it's not negligible. And I think it's definitely worth having like a PayPal link in your bio just in case. Next is ad revenue, and this is a big one. This is a really big one. The streamers I used to watch ran like no ads. You would get a pre-roll advertisement, which is basically someone clicks on your stream and they get 30 seconds of ads and then they get no ads for the rest of the broadcast. If you watched, you know, maybe Prime Overwatch Time XQC or Soda Poppin' 10 years ago, this is probably your experience with Twitch ads. But if you watch modern Twitch, like Kai Cenat or something, you are probably being inundated with ads all the time. Like every 5 minutes, you're getting 3 minutes of ads. And this is because ads pay genuinely stupid money. It's not funny. If you have a stream with 1,000 viewers average and you run 22.5 minutes of ads per hour, which is the maximum that you can run, and you stream for 8 hours, you will probably make $500 to $1,000. One of the problems with ads is they're really annoying. Nobody likes them. I run ads. I didn't for the first 5 years of streaming, but like for me, it's financially stupid, so I do it. Twitch really wants you to run as many ads as possible because they also make a lot of money from it. So the way that it works is if you run less than 3 minutes of ads per hour, then you get a 30% split of the ad revenue. So let's say Twitch makes $100 in total from you running ads on your stream. You would get $30 of that $100, which means Twitch is taking the lion's share. They're making a lot of money from you running ads. But if you run more than 3 minutes of ads per hour, then you get a 55% share, which means you would get $55 of that $100. The thing with ads is you could have a day on Twitch where you make $12 from like a couple people prime subbing and one guy gives 100 bits. And like, that's money. That's money for playing video games or for just talking into the camera, which is awesome. But if you run ads, then a $12 day could really easily be like a $75 day or a $500 day, depending on how many viewers you have. This is like the way to monetize your stream. The more ads you run, the more incentivized your viewers are to subscribe because they don't want to watch ads. So if you run a lot of ads, you might also see an uptick in subscribers, but also it's going to hurt your viewership numbers. So I don't recommend, if you're trying to grow a stream, to run a lot of ads. What I usually do is run 5 minutes of ads per hour. My viewers will get maybe 2.5 minutes of ads every 30 minutes. But if I get rated by somebody, I'll just do like a 16-hour stream and I will run 22.5 minutes of ads per hour until I dip under like 800 viewers or something, and then I'll go back to normal. And doing this, you can make like $400 in one day. It's pretty stupid. Ad revenue isn't always consistent, which is like important to note. The best months to run ads are October, November, and December, because this is when companies are spending the most on marketing. This is like, it's Christmas time. People are spending a lot of money versus January, February, March are the worst times to, run ads. And they're just pretty bad times in general. Like YouTubers had this problem a couple years ago. I think it's better now on YouTube, but on Twitch, like the ad revenue dip is pretty serious. People are also just watching Twitch less. They're tapped out, so they're not gifting subs. They're not really subscribing themselves usually. So this is probably why your favorite streamer might be taking a break during January, February, and then around April, it gets good again. But this does not mean you're making no money from ads in January, February, March. You can make a lot of money from ads around this time of year if you have enough viewers. But, if you have 50 viewers, you're not really making that much from ads. This definitely scales with the more viewers you have. You would think on Twitch that revenue works like this, right? Where the more viewers you have, the more money you make in a pretty linear fashion. So if you have 0 viewers, you make nothing. If you have 10 viewers, you make a little bit. If you have 100 viewers, you make more than that. And if you have 500 viewers, you make more than that. And if you have 1,000 viewers, you make a ton of money. But the way that it works is more like you make nothing with 0, you make nothing with 10, you make a little bit with 100, and then it's crazy. The people who have 1,000 viewers are probably making like 50 times more than the people who have 100 viewers. And this is because of ad revenue, subscription revenue, but also because of something that I want to talk about, which is sponsorships. Sponsorships are a huge freaking deal. Now, Twitch has this thing called a bounty board, where if you're a Twitch partner, you'll have campaigns pop up every so often that are saying like, hey, watch this movie ad for 5 minutes and put a banner on your channel and we will give you $100. You play an anime game for 1 hour on your stream and they give you $200. Now, these don't exist all the time, right? It's not like you go to the bounty board and there's infinite bounties. Maybe if you're like a really big streamer, that's the case. But in my experience, I'll get maybe 1, 2, or if I'm lucky, 3 of these a month. And I always take them because it's the closest thing that you can get to literally free money. Some streamers are very honorable and they're like, no, I'm not going to expose my community to Raid Shadow Legends. I'm not going to advertise something that I'm not very passionate about. And that's fine. But for me, unless it's gambling or something that I think is really cringe, like cryptocurrency, I'll basically take everything that comes my way. Like right now, I'm sponsored by this mobile game called Free Cash, which is like you take surveys and get paid money. There are some streamers I know who got offered the same sponsorship and they didn't take it because they think it's shady. But I mean, dude, I don't care. As long as it's not a scam, I will basically market anything free to my viewers. When it comes to things that are paid, I'm a little bit pickier. Like, I wouldn't advertise a product that costs $200 to my chat and tell them, yeah, guys, you should definitely buy it, unless I really believed it. But when it comes to things that are free, like free PC games or free mobile games, it's basically fair game for me. Now, if you're a smaller streamer and you're interested in sponsorships, or you just don't have the bounty board because you're not a partner yet, or you're just not really getting things on your bounty board, there's actually a lot of other ways to get sponsorships. The main ways I recommend getting sponsorships are through Stream Elements. This is actually how I got the Free Cash sponsorship. They're affiliated with Twitch and they have their own chatbot and stuff, but this happened pretty recently. These guys have been around for forever. Generally, what Stream Elements does is they'll give you maybe $10 if you have, 15 viewers to play a mobile game, but then if you can get your community to download the game, or if you can get them to level up in the game or get their base to a certain level, they'll pay you money as your community reaches certain milestones. If you get 15 downloads and then 5 people get their base to level 5 and 1 person spends $20 in a microtransaction, you could get maybe $50. And again, for 15 viewers, that's really freaking good money. There's also other platforms that are a little bit less consistent, like Noise. I don't really see anybody talking about this site ever. And usually when I check it, there's no sponsorships on it. I check it maybe twice a week. They're kind of shady. And right now I have a payment of like $300 that they're holding hostage from me. I emailed support. They haven't gotten back to me yet, but I've used this platform for like 3 years. And in my experience, they're pretty solid. I know you can get a lot of free game keys from this site, even if you can't get money, and for some people that's worth it. Speaking of free game keys, it's super important that if you want to take sponsorships, that you have a business email. Some brands will send you private messages on social media. Most brands that are worth their weight in salt are gonna send you emails offering to collaborate with you and telling you how much money they're offering. Warning, do not take affiliate links ever. I see so many small streamers falling into the trap of like, oh guys, use my Logitech discount code to get 10% off. you are not getting paid from affiliate links if you're a small streamer. I think that affiliate links are super predatory because you have to apply maybe to the Razor affiliate program and go through this whole process and kind of suck up to them and get accepted. And then they give you a personal 40% off link to use, a 10% off link for your fans where you get 5% commission from every sale. You are literally just doing free advertising for them. The amount of work and effort that you have to put in versus what you're actually getting paid is not even comparable. They are selling a dream to you because you want to be a streamer. You want to make money from streaming. They are preying on your dream to get free advertising. Never, ever, ever work with a brand unless they're paying you. I'm so serious about this. Anyways, you should have a business email so brands can contact you. You're going to get a lot of scams. And this is why I think it's actually really important if you're serious about streaming and you have maybe 100 or more viewers to get an agency. I know it sounds like really scary, but we are no longer in like 2012 when Machinima is just scamming creators out of thousands of dollars. What an agency does is they take a cut of the revenue that you get from sponsorships and they go out of their way to find a bunch of sponsorships for you. They will do all the work. They will hunt down the brands, they'll email them, they'll negotiate your prices, and guess what, bro? They work in the industry and you don't. So they know how much money you can get and how to squeeze that out of brands. I was sponsored by Intel, like the CPU company, a couple of years ago, and they offered to send me a PC. And I was so excited and freaking out. And I was talking to my friend and I'm like, dude, how much money should I ask them for? And we're both like, yeah, let's ask them for $300. And I'm gonna get like a free PC. This is like crazy. I'm being really greedy. $300. I'm just gonna go for it. And then I didn't do that. I let my agency handle it and they got me $1,000 on top of a free computer. And then a couple months later, they reached out to Intel again and they got me another sponsorship with them and I got a free laptop. None of that would have happened if I didn't have an agency. I work with an agency called Load Screen. I've been with them for a couple of years. I literally begged them to poach me because they're so good at their jobs. I have a contract with them where they take a 20% cut of all of the sponsorships that they bring me. If they bring me something for $200, they're gonna get $40 from that, which means they're gonna send $160 to my account. Another thing that's really good about agencies is they'll chase payments for you. When I started streaming, I took a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship, and while I did get paid eventually, I had to chase them down for 8 months, sending a ton of emails. And since joining an agency, I've never had to do that because they have people who it is literally their job to chase payments for you. Not everybody likes agencies, and I'm sure there are some predatory ones out there. So definitely don't jump to join one. You don't need one necessarily, especially when there's sites like Stream Elements and there's a Twitch bounty board and there's noise. But if you're a bigger streamer and you want to spend time playing the game that you want to play or making videos, you don't really want to waste your time answering business emails and chasing down sponsors. Also, this isn't necessarily money-based, but sometimes you can get free stuff. I'm not really good at this because I don't have a presence that much on social media outside of Twitch. But if you're a gamer and you see that this small brand is coming out with a new mouse and you really want it, there's nothing stopping you from just DMing the mouse brand. Or for example, I saw this really cute pink mouse pad on Twitter and I found the brand that it's from and I went to their website and I filled out a form and now they're sending me 2 mouse pads that are like $100 each for free. Or I saw this really cool mouse and I really wanted it, but it was $100. So I found the brand's Discord and I messaged their admin account asking if I could get it as PR, saying that I would make social posts for them. And the person running the account knew me from Bilibili and they said, yes, we will send you one. Please post it on Bilibili. The worst they can say is no, and you could probably get some pretty cool free stuff. Okay, this is something I'm not too familiar with, but especially if you play a game that has a pretty big esports scene, which I do, I've heard that there are streamers who are getting paid $750 to $2,000 per month. These are not like insanely big streamers. I'm talking like 500 viewer to 2,000 viewer streamers for being co-streamers for orgs. OWCS, for example, there's orgs like Virtus Pro who will sign, I don't know, like Joystick, and Joystick will stream for them with branded assets in his info panels and on his stream and on his Twitter. I think Joystick only averaged like 200 viewers when he got this deal, which is like not that is a lot of viewers, but like that's not like a crazy amount of viewers for like this sort of deal. All the streamers have to do is stream with branded assets and watch the team's matches when Virtus Pro is playing. You just get paid stupid money. I have not been able to get this kind of deal. This is mostly for esports people or for bigger streamers. Speaking of stupid money, recently I got an email from Kick, like the gambling website. Okay, it's not really a gambling site, but it's owned by Stake. It's the gambling website. Now, I only stream on Kick once in a very blue moon to illegally watch movies with my chat. I do not have any respect for this platform, but they emailed me offering to pay me to stream on their site. I think they offered, I'll show it on screen. They offered $80 per hour if you have 1,000 viewers on the site and you're not multi-streaming to any other site, which means that if you have 1,000 viewers and you stream for 10 hours, you could make $800 in one day. And like, yeah, you're selling your soul, but low key, that is very tempting. Revenue from other platforms. You have a TikTok. You want to be a streamer, it's 2026. You better have a TikTok. You have a YouTube channel. You want to be a streamer, and it's 2026. You better have a YouTube channel. You have an Instagram. This is secret tech. Instagram Reels are actually broken because nobody posts on Instagram. So if you make a TikTok and you post it on Instagram Reels, you will just get a bunch of free views. I will post a TikTok that gets 500 views and I'll post it to Instagram Reels and it will get 5K or 50K or something stupid. You should always be posting your TikToks on Instagram Reels. You can make money from these platforms. You might think that, you get a YouTube video with a couple thousand views. That's a nothing burger. But I know somebody who has a YouTube channel. They post maybe 5 or 6 times a month and they get 5,000 to 10,000 views per video. Somehow they are making $300 to $500 from that. It's not really like a full-time income, but holy shit, that's a lot of money. Now, I personally don't make any money from any of these platforms, but even if you're not actually getting paid, it is really, really, really important that as a streamer that you're on here. This is basically advertising for your stream. If somebody watches an Instagram Reel, they might go to your stream from that Instagram Reel, and then they might subscribe for 36 months and watch you every day. They might watch your YouTube video and then come in the chat and get 50 subs. I had a tweet one time, they got 2 million views, and I don't have Twitter Blue because I'm not gonna pay for Twitter Blue. Someone came to my stream multiple days later from that tweet and they gifted like 200 subs, which is so much money. It was a lot of money. So it's definitely worth it to post on social media, even if you're not actually getting revenue from those platforms, but you can make money. It can also be an added expense because some people pay an editor. Honestly, you don't need to have that much crazy editing to have a video do well, especially on short form platforms like TikTok and Instagram. Okay, finally, I'm leaking my dashboard from February, which is last month, and I'm gonna explain to you exactly what all this means. This was a really crazy month for me. Normally, I do not make this much, but for the sake of transparency, I made $4,000 from Twitch. And as you can see, a really big amount of that was from ad revenue. I made $1,500 from ads alone. If you look at the colors here, ad revenue is this light purple. These are days where I was rated by other streamers and then streamed for a super long time. I have a lot of friends who have maybe 1,000 viewer or 2,000 viewer streams, and sometimes they'll raid me, which I'm so grateful for. During those streams, I'll run the maximum amount of ads that Twitch will allow you to and just go for as long as I can. So like, I feel like I'm gonna collapse. At this day, I made like $550 from ads. On February 26th, I made $14 from subs, $13 from Prime subs, $10 from gifted subs. I would have made maybe like $30 to $40 that day. And that's really good money, right? For playing video games, $40, more than I can ask for reasonably. But with ads, I made $600. That is genuinely life-changing money. I try to get everybody I know who streams, who doesn't run ads, to run ads because I didn't run ads for 5 years and I'm fine with that. I think that was the right decision, but it's 2026. It's time to sell out, guys. Also, you can see most of these days, the money's like pretty low, $14, $10, $20. You're gonna have a lot of days where you just don't really make that much money. And if you are like me, where you live with your parents, it doesn't really matter how much money you make as long as you can like pay rent. I don't drive a car. My expenses are very low. It's fine. But if you have dependents, or if you just are like 25 and you got to keep like a roof over your own head and you're responsible for taking care of yourself, days like this can be really scary. And this is why I think it's really important to not only make money through Twitch, but also make money through sponsorships and other social media. This is also why you should not be into Twitch for the money, because you can make money. Some people do make money, and I think that you can really intentionally grow your stream and be strategic about it. But first and foremost, this is something that I love, and for the first multiple years of my stream, I was making very far below minimum wage, and there's still days that I make below minimum wage, and those days are way less frequent, and I'm so grateful, especially recently, how much success I've had. But if a $21 day is gonna kill you, you should not be trying to stream as a full-time job. You can definitely stream as a hobby and still make money from it though. Like, it is not all or nothing, and I really encourage that if you want to try streaming, that you do it, because it's really fun. Oh, here as well, this is sponsorships. So I had a pretty normal day. Oh damn, I actually made $2 from ads that day. Okay, I had a really good day. And then I also got paid for sponsorship that I did previously. It's very feast or famine. It's not for everybody. You can say I streamed only 120 hours this month. I had to take a couple days off, so I didn't grind that much. I did just like get very lucky. Still not quite there for the 70-30 split. I really want to get it this year. I'm not sure if I can. I will try. I don't incentivize subs that much, honestly. I kind of just like, I think Twitch should be free. Anyways, I hope this was interesting and as informative as I wanted it to be. If you have any questions, I'm live almost every single day, so feel free to stop by my chat. Let me know if you want to see any similar content. I might make a video soon about how to actually grow a Twitch stream. I'm not going to sell coaching. It's not that complicated, but let me know if you're interested in that. And feel free to stop by my stream. I'm live almost every single day at twitch.tv/sunshinebread. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Okay, bye! Okay, except low-key, I do have an affiliate link for like these caffeine candies that I eat. They don't pay me, but they send me free product, and I would be paying for these out of my own pocket anyways if they didn't, you know, sponsor me or like send stuff to me. Don't tell them I said that, but I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. But unless like they're giving you a ton of free stuff, don't do affiliate links, okay? It's just not a good idea.